Hello guys, welcome back to TFD. We've got breaking news that's shaking the WNBA to its very foundation, and believe me when I say this, you're going to want to sit down for this one because the ripple effects are massive. Lexi Hull has now officially responded to Nafisa Collier's viral interview, and her comments have completely changed the tone of this story. What began as one bold veteran calling out the league has now transformed into a multiplayer movement, something that could alter the future of women's basketball forever. The controversy started when Nafisa Collier sat down for an interview and dropped one of the most shocking revelations in league history. She exposed WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert in a way no player has ever dared to before. The story has since dominated headlines, flooded social media, and sparked heated debates across podcasts, sports talk shows, and newsrooms all over the country. This is no longer a small dispute, it's a full-on crisis for the league. In that interview, Nafisa claimed that Commissioner Engelbert had allegedly suggested that Caitlin Clark should be thankful to the WNBA for providing her with the platform that led to her $16 million in endorsement deals. But to players, fans, and analysts, that statement could not be further from the truth. The reality is crystal clear. Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA already bigger than the league itself. Before she ever played a single professional game, she was a household name, setting records in college and drawing an audience of 24 million viewers, numbers the WNBA had never dreamed of. Clark's arrival was not just another rookie joining the league, it was a cultural moment, a chance for women's basketball to finally break through to the mainstream. Instead of embracing and amplifying that moment, however, the league's leadership has been accused of mishandling it. Since Clark's arrival, the problems have only multiplied. Instead of capitalizing on her star power, the WNBA has been plagued by controversies, inconsistent officiating, physical targeting of Clark on the court, and a style of play that has turned away casual fans who tuned in expecting excitement. Ratings that were supposed to skyrocket have actually declined, and many insiders argue that this decline has nothing to do with Clark herself but everything to do with how the league has been managed. Fans didn't turn away from Caitlin, they turned away from the product surrounding her. And now, with Nafisa Collier's explosive interview, the truth behind those frustrations is being dragged out into the open for the entire world to see. But Nafisa is no longer alone. Enter Lexi Hull. By adding her voice to the conversation, Hull confirmed that the frustration Nafisa expressed is not isolated, it's shared by many players across the league. Hull, who represents a younger generation of WNBA talent, openly stated that players have been feeling let down for a long time. She highlighted the growing discon.
A really big time. It's exciting to see, players speak out and speak up about what's going on in our league and where our league can go and changes that need to be made. And I know you're talking about Fee's interview, and I think when it comes down to it, I think I agree with everything she said. We're at a really important time in the league and changes need to be made. And so you're seeing her talk about that, and I'm really proud of her for making that statement today.
I think Nafisa, saying what she said in the tone and tenor in which she said it is a different tone and tenor perhaps than we have heard from the players in general. When it comes to how she presented those thoughts and the changes that she would like to see, you said you agree with her. How do you feel in terms of that tone being representative of where things actually stand rather than the PR machinations we've all become used to in the last couple of months?
I think, we're the players that are driving this change. And regardless of how it's said, I think the messaging stands the same from the players' perspective is things need to change, reffing needs to change, leadership needs to change. I think, our league is at a spot that it hasn't been in the past 10 years. We're growing exponentially and we need change to mirror that. And I think where the players see the league going is different than where leadership sees the league going, and somehow we need to see that align. And I think the CBA negotiations will help hopefully get us there.
When you're saying leadership needs to change, can you just clarify what you mean by that? Are you saying the actual leadership needs to change, or they're...
I just think we need to get in the same mindset, get to the same point, and come to an agreement somehow. And regardless of how that happens, I think that's in the best interest of both sides, players and leadership.
Have there been any agreements between the sides?
We're not there yet. So hopefully that can happen soon. But as far as I know, we're not there.
What else have you heard about the status of negotiations at this point?
I think where we see the value isn't necessarily getting reciprocated. I don't think that we're given the chance to really, we're not getting compensated for what we feel like we're bringing. And I think that needs to change.
Just to clarify Cassie's question real quick, like there are like no issues at all, like travel or charter or anything like that has been agreed upon yet? Or just...
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Fee had mentioned in her statement that she received a lot of messages from people after the play just checking in on her. Had she reached out, to your knowledge, to anyone that she was going to make a statement?
I don't know.
But not to you?
No, not to me.
As a team, you guys have been a little bit streaky shooting-wise. I know part of that is
Nice! Yes! It's a game tonight.
I know part of that is just basketball, but how about for you yourself? Anything different between a game where you make 5 threes versus one where you're not as hot?
I mean, taking the same shots, taking the open shots, I think that's all we can really do. And so
Over here is a never a dull moment.
Yeah.
We all have probably seen the statement from Nafisa Collier, heard around the world, I guess, but as somebody who's been around this league for a long time, as both player, coach, etc., you know how rare it is for a player to say something with the level of intensity that Nafisa did today. So what are your thoughts on how she said what she said and what she said?
Look, I have a lot of respect for Fee. I mean, she quietly always goes about her business. She has been a dominant player in our league and on the global stage. She understands. She's been a part of the PA and understands the business side of it, as well as the basketball side of it. I'm thankful that we have strong women that are willing to say the things that matter and say the things that will move the needle for change.
One more.
Lexi Hull expressed immense pride in how the Indiana Fever battled through a heartbreaking overtime loss, especially given the adversity they faced late in the game when key players like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell were forced to exit. For Hull, what stood out most wasn't just the final score, but the way her teammates refused to give in, showing resilience, toughness, and belief even when shorthanded. She highlighted the group's relentless fight as something every player could hold their head high about, stressing that it takes a special kind of character to keep pushing under those circumstances. Reflecting on the season as a whole, Hull emphasized the rare and unshakable bonds that had been built inside the locker room. She described the love, unity, and commitment the players had for one another as something that will stay with her long after the season ends. Wins and losses may come and go, but the strength of those relationships and the culture they've created, she said, is what truly defines the group. Hull believes the foundation laid this year, in both culture and resilience, will carry the Fever into future seasons, even as rosters shift and new challenges arise. Drawing parallels to her college career, Hull pointed out that she's seen adversity before, but what made this season so memorable was the way the team stayed together no matter what. Injuries, setbacks, and heartbreaking losses never fractured their unity. Instead, every obstacle seemed to reinforce their connection and fuel their determination.
You in particular in this team and left it out on the floor each and every night. No doubt you can get the things tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think that's something we can take away from this season. Obviously, ending on the loss is hard and not what you want, but I do think that we can be proud of the effort we put out there, especially in the fourth quarter, losing Aaliyah, losing Kelsey. I don't even know if that was the third or fourth quarter. But two of our biggest stars go down and we continue to fight and send it to overtime. So I think that's, we're proud of ourselves, we're proud of that fight. And it's just sad to see this group be done.
Coach was saying that someday she hopes the story of this season is told. And I'm sure if behind those walls, it's even more incredible than we know.
For sure. There's lifelong bonds built there. It's sad. Yeah, it's memories this team will cherish forever. The coaches talk about it, the vets that are on the team talk about it, that you don't get this bond, this tightness, these friendships on every team in pro sports. That's not normal. And for us to be able to build that this season is something very special.
So what will you remember this team for most?
Our love for each other, our fight for each other. Every single possession, every single day, regardless of what was thrown at us, we stood together and we attacked every situation together and we loved on each other. And I think that's just that feeling of togetherness. I think that's the biggest thing that we'll take away.
How much does this continue to build that foundation for what the Fever can be next year, the year after, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, it's hopefully we have a lot of the same players back. You know, it's pro sports is another weird one where every season is different, teams look different, but I think every new player we had this season came into the locker room and felt that connectedness and added to it. So we were really lucky that we had built such a great culture here, and that'll continue year after year.
Talk about resiliency all year. Have you been a part of a team who's consistently had to kind of fill the final minutes of the final game of the season?
I mean, yeah. I would say in college, during the COVID year, that was one of the hardest years. Playing basketball, a million things going on in the world, and staying together and being resilient on the court, whether that was, having positive tests or not being able to practice in our home gym. There were so many things. So I would say, I personally have been through that before, but it's going to look different on every team with every group of people. And just so proud of this group for staying together.
You guys huddled up right after the final buzzer, actually your court. What was that moment like for you?
Hey, it's sad. I think, especially when you push the game to overtime and you fight for so long, your expectations are to win, obviously. And so to lose is sad, but I think arm in arm, all of us together, we can look at each other and be proud of each other. So it's a moment of love for sure.
Do you feel like this game between adversity but also the resilience is just like a microcosm of this whole season, and that in a way, you're like, oh, we've been here before?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Steph said in the huddle. We're built for this moment. When Kelsey went down, and then we're challenging the call on AB. We've been here before, so it's just so unlucky, so crazy that had to happen tonight, and just for us to be able to continue to bounce back and still fight and still, close out a game that this Aces is a great team. And for us to be able to put out the performance we did tonight and send it to overtime, that's what we proud of.
What's going out on the floor for overtime? Kelsey's not there. AB's not there. Obviously, all the players that were hurt earlier in the season aren't there. I mean, what's going through your mind in that moment when you're thinking, we're still in this?
We can win. This is a 0-0 game, 5 minutes. We do those situations in practice. I mean, it took everyone. I mean, O had an incredible night tonight. People just stepped up. And I think, when we were starting that overtime, we all five, everyone on the bench, playing or not, we believe in that game. So I think that just goes to show you that we believe in each other and in ourselves. And again, I'm just so proud of this group.
Lex, how impressive of a job did Stephanie do as coach with all the moving parts throughout the season?
I mean, incredible. Simply incredible. He's so easy to give up and say, we're just going to take this year, we're going to be a building year. We're going to get better. We set ourselves up for a good season next year. She came at us and challenged us to continue to fight. So not every coach could do that. And not every coach could motivate a group to do that. And so just really special coach, really special person, and grateful to be able to learn from her.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I probably hate the word for that word so many times this season. But I think that just speaks to the Fever culture and just obviously our teams in the spotlight a lot stuff, but I think a lot goes on behind the scenes. We're able to tune out the noise, and Steph said something this morning drown the noise and feed the inspiration. So I don't know. She always has a tidbits to say. But I think just us staying together was a big part of how we were able to be as successful as we were.
What a season it has been for the Indiana Fever. In a year filled with challenges and adversity, the team managed to rise above every obstacle and deliver one of the most memorable campaigns in franchise history. Not only did they clinch the Commissioner's Cup, but they also secured back-to-back playoff appearances for the first time since the 2015 and 2016 seasons, a huge milestone that marked their return to consistent postseason contention. Even more impressive, they accomplished all of this while dealing with the devastating blow of 5 players suffering season-ending